absence. Anyways, today we're making a gorgeous hot foil Christmas card using the Spellbinders Dina Wakley Starry Holiday Collection. I'll show you how to hot foil with BetterPress plates, get clean foiling results, and build a shiny mixed media inspired card from start to finish. If you love Spellbinders, BetterPress, or hot foiling techniques, you're going to love this one. Let's get started, y'all. Okay, y'all, so for today's card project, I'm playing with the Spellbinders Dina Wakley Starry Holiday Collection, specifically the Merry, Merry, Merry Bird Registration Press Plate and Die Set. I just love that bird up there, so I had to play with this set. As an affiliate, Spellbinders sent me these goodies to create with, and I'm excited to show you how to hot foil with the BetterPress plates. It's really fun to hot foil them. So I'm also testing out Simon Hurley's Stark White cardstock for foiling. I found it on Amazon, and so I've been playing with it in my craft room. These are really great card panels here, already trimmed down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, perfect for A2 size cards, 110 pound weight. I really recommend these for your card projects. So I also picked out some gorgeous Spellbinders foils to make this card shine. Here they are. Let me show it to you. Super pretty. I'm even bringing back twine. I was inspired by one of Dina's sample cards on her YouTube channel. So this is, I've had this in my stash for a long time. I don't know how old it is. It's years old. But I have a bunch of it, and so I'm going to go ahead and use this blue twine on today's card, since I'm using that teal blue foil. Anyways, and y'all, it feels so good. Let me tell you, it feels so good to be back in the craft room after being away for almost a month. I know breaks hurt the algorithm, but I had a 3-week cruise vacation in Europe. It was really fun. Much needed break. Then on the ship I got sick. I got some sort of cold upper respiratory thing that took forever to go away, and I didn't really have much of a voice, so I couldn't record and do voiceovers. And just got stuck in my head, my own head for a bit. It happens to me quite a bit, especially with my OCD and things. But I'm back, refreshed, and I'm ready to make more content, y'all. So here are the 3 cards. Let me bring them in that I made for Spellbinders. So here's the bird card. That's the one we're going to make today. And then Merry Christmas card. Super cute. And then the deer card that I made. I love how they turned out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the card making fun, y'all. I really wanted to do some hot foiling with these BetterPress plates because it's just so fun, and honestly, the results are stunning every single time. At least for me, they are. Thankfully, they've been working really well for me lately. So one of my favorite things about the BetterPress system is that the plates aren't limited to just letterpress. You can also hot foil with them, which gives you a whole new look without needing different plates. The designs are already so detailed and etched so deeply that they take foil beautifully. If you've never tried foiling with your BetterPress plates, it's something I highly recommend experimenting with. So I've got my GLIMMER machine heated up and ready to go, and my Platinum 6 is right next to it. I love the whole process, the warming of the plate, the moment the foil transfers, and that big reveal when you peel back the sheet. It never gets old, y'all. So for today's cardstock, I'm using Simon Hurley's Stark White cardstock in the 110 pound weight, which has been foiling really well for me lately. It's not quite as smooth as the hammer mill, but it still grabs the foil cleanly and gives me crisp lines, especially with these detailed plates. I always like to mention the cardstock because foiling can be picky, and finding one that works consistently feels like a win. For the birds, I'm using the teal foil from Spellbinders. It's such a rich, vibrant color, and it really shows off the line work. For the ornament, I picked the rainbow foil, also from Spellbinders, because that shifting color effect adds instant drama without any extra effort from me. When it catches the light, absolute magic. And don't forget, pretty side down, the pretty side of the foil down. Then your cardstock on top before you run everything through. And that little detail is the difference between why didn't this foil and oh my gosh, look how gorgeous this is. I'm curious, have any of you tried hot foiling with your BetterPress plates yet? Do you like using them for foiling, or do you mostly stick to letterpress? Let me know in the comments because I love hearing how everyone uses these plates in their own craft rooms. Okay, so when I'm getting ready to hot foil with these BetterPress plates, I like to keep the process really clean so I don't risk any over foiling. The first thing I do is trim down my cardstock so it's just a little larger than the design on the plate. Then I trim my foil to the same size. Keeping everything close to the size of the image really helps prevent foil from catching any places you don't want it to. So once the glimmer plate is heated and ready, I place the foil pretty side down, then my trimmed cardstock on top. For pressure, I use the spacer pad and the thin shim, but I also like to add a simple paper shim. Just a sheet of regular printer paper, copy paper, 80-pound paper, anything like that will work. That tiny bit of extra pressure really helps the foil transfer cleanly, especially with detailed plates like the ones in the Starry Holiday collection. Every machine is a little different, but for my setup, that extra shim gives me consistently beautiful results. After everything is stacked, I just run it through the Platinum 6 at a steady pace and let the pressure do its magic. When you peel the foil back and see the image perfectly transferred, it's the best part. Now that everything is foiled, I'm moving on to die cutting the bird and the ornament. I'm using the matching dies from the set, and to keep everything lined up perfectly, I like to secure the dies with a little mint tape. It keeps them from sliding around and gives you a really clean cut. Then I just run the whole thing through my Platinum 6 and the pieces pop out perfectly every time. It's always so satisfying seeing those foiled images cut out and ready to go. So next up, I'm bringing in the registration template along with the background plates. The registration template is super helpful because it lets you line up all the press plates perfectly so everything lands exactly where it should on your card panel. It basically gives you a visual guide so your elements stay straight and centered. Just remember, the template is plastic, so you never want to put it on the Glimmer machine or run it through the Platinum 6. Once everything is lined up the way you want it, you can remove the template and move on to the actual foiling or pressing step. Just remember, this is not really the intended purpose of the registration template. This is how I'm using it for today, though. The background plates foiled beautifully with speckled prism foil. Now I'm foiling the Merry, Merry, Merry sentiment strip using magenta foil for a bold pop of color. I'm grabbing my A2 Matting Basics A and B die sets to trim down the card panels. For the main panel, I'm using the largest die from set B. Then for the matte layer, I'm using the glitter metallic cardstock from the Spellbinders Treasured Cardstock collection. This cardstock cuts so nicely, clean edges, no flaking, and it adds just the right amount of sparkle without overwhelming the design. It paired perfectly with all the foiling on this card. I'll have the Treasured Cardstock linked down below along with my Spellbinders and Amazon affiliate links. And just so you know, I wasn't happy with how the Merry, Merry, Merry sentiment foiled. The first time it shifted a bit as I ran it through, so you'll see me foil that sentiment again to get a cleaner result. The second foiling turned out so much better, nice and crisp with no shifting. So now I'm going to take the sentiment strip and run it through with the coordinating die. Using the die gives it that clean finish edge and makes it so much easier to place on the card later. Do y'all still use jelly roll pens in your card making? Remember jelly roll pens? I feel like they were everywhere years ago, and honestly, I never stopped using them. I still have a bunch in my craft room. I reach for them all the time to add little highlights, details, and pops of shine on my cards. It's really fun to do. Today I'm using a metallic gold jelly roll to color in the crown on the bird, and then a metallic silver to add a little extra shimmer to the ornament. It's such a simple little thing, but it adds so much personality and sparkle without any extra effort. And of course, the white jelly roll pen is still one of my favorites. It's perfect for adding any tiny highlights, faux stitching, dot details, eye catch lights, just those finishing touches that make an image come to life. If you've never tried adding a few white pen highlights to your coloring or foiled images, it makes a huge difference, y'all. Jelly roll pens might be old school, but they are still one of my most fun and useful tools in my craft room. So then I adhered the card panel and the matte layer onto a top-folded A2 note card using my Spellbinders tape runner. After that, I grabbed my scrapbook adhesive foam squares because I knew I wanted to pop up both the ornament and the bird to give the card some nice dimension. But before I stick anything down, I need the twine. I need to add the twine, y'all. And I almost forgot. Oops. I still can't believe I almost forgot the twine. If I pressed down that ornament onto the cardstock, that would have been really hard to remove because those foam squares are sticky. And, well, yeah, I would probably have to redo the whole card. But anyways, just removing the backers here and I caught myself. So that was a good save on my part. I'm just getting out the twine here, and I decided to go with the blue twine because I thought it would be really fun paired with that shiny blue foiled bird. The colors work so nicely together, and it adds a little extra texture to the card without taking away from the focal images. This particular twine is from Doodlebug, and it's one of my favorites because it's soft, easy to tie, and doesn't fray all over the place. I'm going to see if I can find it on Amazon and link it down below for you, at least something similar. It's really great twine, and it comes in lots of cute colors, so it's perfect for card making and little embellishment touches like this. Also, if you have any tips for smoothing out that crease in the twine, the crease that it gets from being wrapped around the cardboard packaging, let me know. Sometimes I can work it out with my fingers, but not always. So I'd love to hear what tricks y'all use to get out that crease, because it really drives me nuts. Okay, y'all, I need some more help from you. So now I'm going to glue down the twine, and honestly, if any of you have any good tips for adhering the twine, please share them down below in the comments because I don't think my method is the official way, but it worked for me. I didn't want the twine glued down perfectly or tightly anyway because I wanted it to look a little organic and loose, not stiff or forced. So what I did was grab a paintbrush that I don't mind getting glue on, and I poured a little bit of glue, liquid glue, onto my glass mat. Then I just painted the glue onto sections of the twine as I placed it. That seemed to be the easiest way to get light controlled adhesion without making a mess. I didn't get glue every inch, just the spots that needed to stay put. I wrapped the twine around a few times in a kind of a loose and perfect circle, not a perfect loop, not too tidy. This is the attempt at making a more artsy, Dina Wakley inspired card, if that makes sense. I wanted it to feel playful and textured, not overly precise. Once the twine was in place, I added a little more glue with that same paintbrush just to keep a few sections anchored down. So I added a little bit more than I thought I did. But anyways, this is where my Glass Board Studio glass mat really comes in handy. It's perfect for messy techniques like this because the glue wipes right off and I don't have to worry about ruining my workspace. With the twine down and looking nice and loose and a little artsy, I'm ready to layer the ornament and the bird on top. The twine just adds the right amount of texture without overpowering the card. Okay, y'all, so I was just checking there to make sure there was enough room for the sentiment, but I ended up changing where it goes anyway. And one thing I didn't do on this card is hot foil the hollies that I had on the card at the beginning that I showed. They were on the ornament. But that's okay, every card doesn't have to be the same, so I'm totally fine with that. I added the foam squares to the back of the bird, peeled off the backers, and attached both the ornament and the bird. I just love how this card came together, y'all. It's a little different for me, but it was really fun to make. I decided to place the sentiment right on top of the bird, and I actually loved how that looked. Then I finished everything off with some fashion silver embellishments from Spellbinders for a little extra shine. I thought that was perfect right in those little, next to the sentiment there. I thought that was great placement for some embellishments. So just finding the right spot here for that sentiment, and that looks great. I'm happy with that. So that's going to wrap up today's video, y'all. And again, I'm so sorry for the long absence. I'm planning to get back into a weekly posting schedule. I'd love to get two videos a week eventually, but for now I think one card making video a week is doable. If you enjoyed today's project, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and do all the YouTube things. It helps me out so very much. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.